Her premonition was spot on. The woman bolted out of the cave like a rabbit being chased, getting scratched all over by thorns, but right now she could. Meanwhile, oblivious Archibald was searching everywhere. Lucky for him, he spotted Edna flagging down a car, but what on earth happened in that cave? Why did Edna suddenly vanish, leaving Archibald scratching his head? To make matters worse, she met up with Miss Esmore right after. The planned trip was temporarily postponed. The car taking Edna away seemed Mrs. Collins, Fielding's friend, but truth stays unknown. At this moment, Edna suffered greatly, her body scarred, mind shattered, trying to stay calm to prevent a breakdown. On the other side, Mr. Fielding, facing an emergency, took a train home with Archibald, accusing him of law-breaking. An anxious Dr. Archibald was inexplicably taken to prison in public, with Miss Esmore witnessing it. He muttered, "Something big is brewing." And as Archibald's only white friend, Fielding was hustling around the judicial office trying to dig up, and at that moment, Fielding found out, to his utter disbelief, that Edna had accused Archibald of assaulting her in their cave. This shocking news left Fielding speechless, as he knew Archibald's character too well to believe he'd engage in such sordid behaviour. Alas, this poor doctor has now been thrown behind bars, and his fate has suddenly turned into a swirling mystery. As tensions mounted globally, the local Indians seized the opportunity to form a racial showdown to protect their own interests. They marched and protested in daylight, filling hills and streets chanting "Drive whites out." They hailed Archibald as a national hero, while on the other side, the British expatriates were having their little meetings, plotting their next moves. The governor even insisted that every Briton carry a gun while out and about, just in case they had to defend against the Indians. They believed Indians were all born with criminal intentions, showing their deep-seated bias against them. This incident was seen as a prime example of moral decay, further deepening their disdain for the Indians. Meanwhile, Ronnie showed up at the scene, reassuring everyone that Edna was doing just. After hearing Ronnie's report, the governor gave some instructions, clearly checking in on Fielding's well-being. Among the crowd, he was the only one who had the closest relationship with Archibald. Nevertheless, he still maintained a fair mindset, firmly believing that Archibald should not be convicted merely due to Edna's accusations. He strove to bridge communication between Britain and India, yet in this context, his efforts seemed insignificant. In the dead of night, Miss Esmore's room at Firth home was still aglow, while her son Ronnie worried about her health. Ever since the uproar, her mental state had been greatly shaken, filled with a sense of nothingness and chaos. This left him feeling powerless about everything around him. Even the fight for justice for Archibald and the complicated situation in India was wearing him down. He just wanted to return to familiar UK, his peaceful haven, so Ronnie sent his mother on the night train. This spares her unnecessary burdens for Archibald in future trials, but right after Ronnie left, Miss Esmore contemplated her experiences in India when a familiar yet eerie feeling washed over her, prompting her to peep through the window. In the pitch-black street, a man was approaching her, which surprised her, so she opened the window for a closer look. The man held up a basket of offerings, a profound sign of respect in ancient India, and he was the same Hindu she briefly met before. How could he know Miss Esmore would leave India? The mystery is baffling, events are both inevitable and coincidental. As Miss Esmore boarded the ferry, she felt a wave of relief, occasionally gazing at the night sky, trying to lift her spirits a bit. Suddenly she felt an excruciating pain surge through her body, and, gritting her teeth, she made her way to a nearby rocking chair. At this moment, her life quietly approached its end. Perhaps that Hindu had foreseen Miss Esmore's future and offered her a blessing at their farewell. The next morning, the crew carefully wrapped her body and gently placed her into the Indian Ocean. Thus, Miss Esmore concluded her tumultuous and eventful journey in India in this manner, as if foreshadowing the rupture of a certain ideal connection between the two nations she represented. On the other side, today became a farce for Archibald, as Edna followed the governor's car to court. The crowd of Indians surged along the road, chanting for justice and persistently hounding the official car, bringing a whole new level of pressure.